Hello and welcome. We're here today because you want to change, you want to improve your relationship, you want to fix your broken marriage, or you want to fix that broken relationship. In here, with the next 20 minutes, 15 minutes, you're going to be able to have the tools to start that change that you're looking for. There's going to be 7 steps. But those 7 steps are going to make you change your relationship for good. It is time for us to take this to the next level. I'm Hector Roa. I've been working on life coaching for the last 4 years. I've been married for 15 years. Been in the same relationship for about 20 years. And we have our ups and downs, and that's what it takes, to create a good relationship, to learn. And that's what we did, and that's what I did to grow. So let's start. There is 7 steps, and the very first step is to know why you get married. What was the reason that you get married? What was that you find attractive in the other person? What was that made you feel secure, that it made you feel in love, that it made you feel connected with that person? It was her laugh. It was that he gave you security. What it was. So we have to, as a first step, is always go back to the basics and see what is that it makes us attractive to the other person. What is that it makes us fall in love? What is that it makes us to take the next step on the relationship? So number 1, we have to go to the basics and see what is that we love from our partner. And when you get that, you have to have that present all the time. Remember, we all change through life, but our core values always gonna be there. So let's find out what are those values, what are those things that it make us fall in love with our partner. So have that in mind. Take a minute to write down all that. If you want, you can pause the video right now and write down what is that it make you fall in love with your partner. What values, what emotions, what is that it makes you fall in love? Pause now. Welcome back. I know now you have a list of all those things, and I want you to have that list right by your side through the whole process, because it's important for you to have that present. That person that you love have those values. Maybe he's looking something different right now, but those values are there. So keep that right hand. Second thing we're gonna do, second step, is the level of the relationship. Meaning, how is that each of the individuals on the relationship value the relationship, what they're looking for. What are the dynamics on the relationship? What are the dimensions of the relationship? So, to explain to you guys, there is 3 dimensions. The first dimension is when you are egocentric. When the person is looking just to see what is that I can get out of that relationship. And as I'm going to explain later, they're looking for their own needs. What are those needs that I'm going to feel on myself out of this relationship? So first dimension, one dimension is what I'm getting out of the relationship and what is my gain. Second dimension, or 2-dimensional, is that relationship where I focus on what are the needs of my partner, what is that I can feel for my partner, but also what are those needs that I have And then we look what are our needs as a couple or as a relationship. And at that point, the problem is if your partner is not filling your needs, or you cannot fill your needs, or you cannot fill their needs, then you're out of the relationship. And then the third dimension is when you give. Is the more powerful. It's when you feel responsible to fill the needs of your partner. What is that? You just give, you just give, you just give. And this is word center or spirit center. So on this third dimension, we are givers. And if your partner are in the same dimension as you, and your partner is 100% commit to fill your needs, and you are 100% committed to that person's needs, then you're in a wonderful relationship. But we will get there. We need to know first what are those needs that the other person value and how they value this. And that's step number 3. Understand each other's world, or which one are the needs of the other person. There is 6 needs that all human beings have. And we value these needs differently through life. And it's normal. So now, out of the 6, there is 4 that are for the personality, and there is 2 that are for the spirit. But either way, we all have all 6 needs. We just value them on a different way, and we interpret them on a different way through our life, right? So the first need is the need for certainty. The need to avoid pain and gain pleasure. Remember, as a piece, principle of pleasure and pain. So we avoid pain and we gain pleasure. That's certainty. We want to be safe. We want to be secure. We want to know where we are going. We want to know that we are surviving. So that's the first need. The second need is the opposite. Is uncertainty or variety. That's the spice of life. That's what it makes you wake up in the morning and say, I want to do this, I want to do that. It's that spark that it gets you. Is that being different? Is that feel excited? Is feel that you're alive? That's variety. So certainty and variety. The third need is significance. Significance is that it makes us feel important, that it makes us feel that we are unique, that we are important for the other people, but thinking on you feeling important. It's feel that you are unique, feel that you are valued, that you are the center, pretty much. The fourth need is love and connection. Love and connection is how we bond with the world. Feeling that you are part of something is a meaningful connection. And love is that. And connection is that. It's feel that you are part of something, that you're bonding with somebody. That's love. We're giving. Those are the first 4 needs. So certainty, uncertainty, significance, love and connection. Those are the needs of the personality. Now we are going to the needs of the spirit. And the 5th needs in the first for the spirit is growth. Like biologists say, you born, you grow, you reproduce, you die. If you're not growing, then you are dying. So we all feel the need to grow our personality, to grow our spirit, to grow our love and our connection. We all the time trying to grow in a different way. And it's important to grow. but each person have the significance for that that you value on this point for growth. And the very last one, which is also for the spirit, is contribution. Is give something to the world. Is how we're gonna leave our mark after we go away. Is give to others without thinking on our needs, but thinking on others. And that's the highest need, contribution. So now we know these needs. Now we have to understand how our partner value each of those needs and which ones are priority for them on this point of life. Why? Because if for your partner right now the most important thing is priority, because you just retire and you feel bored and maybe you just want priority, you want something different, you want to do a step, and you think he is just having a middle age crisis, well, maybe there's gonna be a conflict there, right? Because you don't understand why he feels so excited, why he wants to do all that stuff. That's not the person that I married. No. Remember, there is 1,000 ways to feel priority. We can read different books, we can go to the movies. There is some people that go stream and does just bungee jumping. But if we understand that that's what the person wants, then we can see how we can feel that need, and vice versa. If you explain what the needs means to you, then the other person can feel your needs, and then you get a balance in your relationship, and you get a three-dimensional relationship that is going to be good, it's going to be awesome, you're going to feel empowered, you're going to feel passion. But you guys have to feel and know what are the needs of your partner and how they interpret those needs. It's not just know which ones they are, which ones are more important, but how they interpret, how they feel that need, what are the vehicles they use to feel that need. And that takes us to the next step. So we know a relationship could be in 1 dimension and 2 dimensions and 3 dimensions. And now we know what are our partner needs, on our needs, and what are the words and how we measure them. Now we're going to go and see what are the challenges. But we're going to see what are the challenges, understanding all these things that we know before. Understanding that probably my partner is looking for priority and I'm looking for certainty. And it's okay. And it's totally possible to do and work with if we know. But we get challenges in life. And there is basically 4 challenges or 4 stressors that actually make us feel bad. So the first one, or there is 5 actually. The first one is the loss of attraction. It's kind of the first step. The loss of attraction is a thin line. The difference between an intimate relationship and a friendship is the physical intimacy, and the intimacy on our soul. So with your partner, you wanna be able to be free. You wanna be able to give everything out of your soul. If you feel sad, you can tell. If you feel happy, you can tell. If you like something, you can be free. If you're goofy, you're free to be goofy. And that's okay. When we lose that thin line of intimacy, of that deeper connection, that's when we start having problems. When we don't feel free to connect. The second one is the irritation, is frustration and emotional stacking. So when I cannot be free and I cannot have that deeper connection, I start being irritable, I start being frustrated, and I start stacking emotions on myself. If I decide not to communicate that out, then we start getting the next problems. So in that second part, after you lost attraction, then you can have the loss of connection, and then you fall in a cycle that we call the 4 R's. The first, you resist. So the other person do something, and you decide not to say something, I don't like this, just because why not? Why doesn't matter. So that's resistance. Then it comes resentment, because he says something, you didn't say nothing, now he do something, and you decide not to tell them, hey, you do this, and you just let it go. Once you let that go, now you resent. First, you resist, and you just let it go when he says something or she says something. Then you resent what they do, but you didn't say something either. So you start rejecting. When you start rejecting, then you lost that connection with the person. You start losing that communication and that commitment. And then when you repress, which is when you reject, and what you do is you repress. When you repress, that issue that you have with your partner, it gets numb. And when it gets numb, you just let it go. It doesn't affect you emotionally at that moment, but because what you're doing to feel that need that make you angry and emotional and frustrated, and that action that they don't do or do, then you replace that with another action that felt the need. And that's when the guy start working extra hours, or the woman start working extra hours, or the woman start working everything towards the kids, and the husband feel left behind. That's the point. When we repress and we didn't focus on, hey, we have to communicate and take all that all those emotions, all that stacking of emotions, take it out and process it and word them out, then we're going to keep doing this with different emotions, with different frustrations, with different situations in life, and that's what destroys marriage and relationships, because we don't communicate there, and we start compiling all these. And if you do all these, and you have all this irritation and all this, then it comes the loss of physical attraction. Because if you cannot be free, if you cannot communicate, you cannot be with the person to a deeper level, you lost that physical intimacy. You lost that physical relationship, because you don't feel safe, you don't feel secure, you don't feel that they are on that relationship with you. And if you lost that physical attraction, and there is many things, that is when we're going to start talking about polarity. If you're a woman and you always be feminine, but you don't feel secure because your husband is not there or doing this or doing that, and you don't feel he's protecting you in certain situations, then you're going to be more bossy, and you'll be going to start using a mechanism to show you that you can do that by yourself. And when you start doing that, then you lose that connection and you lose that polarity. So either the man can become more feminine, or the female can become more masculine. And when you lost that polarity of being masculine and feminine, then we're in trouble, and we lost the physical attraction. If we lost physical attraction, and this is really important, we have to work on that, because once we lost physical attraction and we don't fix it there, we seek therapy, we seek coaching, we seek something that's going to help us to change, then it becomes the loss of commitment. And the loss of commitment, it can come in so many different ways. Love of commitment is understood as the point in which the partner doesn't care about the needs of the other partner. And if you don't care to those needs, we go back to the dimensions. Then it's just my needs. It's one dimension, and a relationship cannot work in one dimension, right? So that's the challenges, that's the stressors that you can have in your relationship. Now let's go to polarity. So we know why we get married, right? So we know all those good things about that man, about that woman. And just like a magnet, the different poles attract, right? So if you lose that polarity, if you put positive and positive in a magnet, they're gonna reject. Same with human beings. We have female energy and masculine energy. And that goes for everybody. Even in the same sex relationship, there is always a female energy and masculine energy that attract. Now, if the man that is always been masculine and the female that always become female, that always been female, and they have pure relationship, and through events and through stacking emotion and all this stuff, one of the two start changing. Then the other part is gonna reject that, because if the female is more masculine and the man be masculine, then we have two masculines they're gonna reject. And it's same the other way. If you get a man that is masculine and is becoming feminine, and the female is feminine and keep going feminine, they're gonna reject. Feminine is gonna reject. So polarity is really, really important for your relationship. It's really important to see how you change and how we can maintain that. I'm gonna give you a little example of this. For example, I see a case of one of my trainers that he says, well, it's this woman that he have a relationship for 3-4 years, and then he changed because that man, it was never enough for her. That man, he was never to the standards. Well, what happened? We start looking into her. Why are they not good enough? What are the standards? Well, the standards is that she's totally independent, 100% independent, because her dad always wanted boys and he got 2 girls. So he teach their girls to be masculine. And therefore, she was a really successful woman, but she felt so masculine within her femininity that masculine energy, at the beginning she was good, but over time that masculinity come out and reject those guys, and then she don't feel comfortable, and she was the one ending all these relationships. Why? Because he wasn't polarity. So that's what I'm talking about, polarity. All right. The next thing, once we understand that our relationship can be or have to be 3-dimensional, and in which dimension we understand what are the needs of the other person and what are the words and the vehicles they use. Then now we know what are the stressors, what are the challenges that we can have, and which one is the one for us. Then we know we have to have polarity. We have to work on ourselves and see how we feel that polarity in our relationship. Then we start getting our goals for the future, setting a new goals. But what do you mean for setting a new goals? Those new goals is the decision. It's a new decision to commit to that new acceptable standard for you. So what is my commitment to my partner and to myself? to have these standards. So if I feel that I'm not communicating, that's not my standard. My standard now is, before I start letting things just pass by, we're gonna sit and we're gonna talk about it. If you do something, we're gonna sit and we're gonna talk about it. Before we start stacking all these emotions, we're gonna talk about it before we get there. And then we start changing our relationship. We're gonna start seeing what is that in our relationship that I'm looking for. I want to give you, or I just want to get something out. If you feel you are just trying to get something out, just let it go. If that's not the person that you feel that you can give, no matter what, just let it go. Probably that's not the person for you. But if you feel that it is and you are just in a transition because you start stacking in all those emotions and you lost that attraction all day, then let's work on it and see, you know what? I was being selfish. I've been thinking of my needs. This is what is important for me. And when you talk about what is important, what are the needs that you're feeling right now, then you can start to set a baseline, set those standards. Those are your goals. To set standards that are going to take you to the next level, which is taking action. And how we take action. 3 things. First, focus. We had to take massive action, and for that action we need to know where we focus on. So first thing, I'm gonna focus on my partner's needs. What are those needs that she needs to be filled? And the same way the other way around. It doesn't work if just one is pedaling, both. Oh, those are the needs we're gonna focus on. We're gonna focus on the vocabulary. We're gonna focus on the physiology. Because that's gonna make the change on your life. The second thing, we're gonna see what are the meaning. So we have to be present from the heart to see what are the real meaning of the things that are happening in our relationship. And I mean that because most of the time people doesn't feel present. And when the wife doesn't feel that the husband is present in the relationship, then the husband maybe feel that is present, but she feels not present. Then she start rejecting him. She start resenting him. She start resisting him, and then she just start to repress that and work and go and look for different alternative to look in that. So we have to focus. We have to know what it means to communicate, what it means that expression, what it means that he's doing and where is he doing it from. So focus on the other needs, know the meaning of those needs. And third, more important, if you're doing something to fill your partner's needs and it's not working, then sit, talk about it, and change the strategy. Change the strategy to help him fill the needs and the other way around. Why? Because if you don't change the strategy, you cannot expect a different outcome. So what it is important is to first focus, 2, know what are the needs, and 3, change the strategy if that's not working. And that's how you take massive action to improve your relationship. So we resume. Now we know first what we can manage. And I'm pretty sure those beautiful things that you found and you write down on that paper, you still today want to find them on your heart. You just have to look hard because there is too much noise around and sometimes we forget about that. So let's go back and look there and find that spark and find those values, and let's see what is important in this point of life for a partner. And let's take that relationship to the next level. Now that you listen to this presentation, it's time to take action. Down below is our hotline that we, as a Rekindle Your Life Foundation, we're going to cover the first session for you guys, one of our partners, for you to take that relationship or that life or that help to the next level. It is important for you to take action. It's just few spots. We don't have that many, but just go down below, schedule your session that we're going to cover for free, and I see you on the next level. Have a great day.